My name's Susanna. We're here in Buckinghamshire on our dairy farm. We've got 450 cows and we calve in a seasonal block from the middle of June to November. We aim to rear about 140 calves every year and because they're born in a very tight space of about 7 to 8 weeks, we need all of the housing available for all 140 calves in one go. So we've got two purpose-built sheds that the calves move into after they're born. We rear them all together in two big groups. Before we had our current sheds, we still had one building that was specifically for rearing the calves. It's very old, it didn't have very good ventilation, it was very dark. It wasn't the best environment for our calves, so we wanted to look at something that would be a lot better from a health and disease point of view. Our calf shed is sort of on the edge of the yard. The reason we put it here is so that it's not really a through route to get to anywhere. It's been constructed in two sections, and each section has got 5 bays, and each bay will hold 12 calves. There are gates between each section to keep the calves separate from each other, and there's a back section for lying, and then there's a front section for eating. And the calves can be either shut on the bed if we need to clean out the food at the front, or they can be shut into the front section for bedding up at the back and for mucking out. We built the calf sheds so that they're at 90 degrees to the prevailing winds. They have a solid concrete wall up to 1.5 metres high, but then they have a nice big gap between that and the roof to allow the prevailing wind to provide ventilation through the shed. The roof itself has got an overhang both over the back and the front of the shed in order to provide shelter from any rain. The things I really like about the shed is really good for observation of the calves, really easy to see them. We've had an enormous improvement in calf health. We've had very few calf losses, we've had much less levels of disease, hardly any pneumonia, hardly any scouring. Calves grow at an average of about 800 grams per day over the whole rearing period. And partly that's to do with the ventilation of the building, and partly it's to do with our high biosecurity protocols. If we were calving at a different time of year, we would look into having more protection on the building. If the weather is very wet, we can find that water comes in a little bit either through the front of the building or through the ridge in the roof, which can lead to the beds getting a bit wet. The two changes I would make if we were to build this again would be to put some fall on the floor and to install some sort of windbreak on the open sides of the building. The whole calf facility cost in the region of £130,000. We have easily seen us gain this money back through the improved performance of our calves through this system, less losses, better growth rates, better calves surviving into adulthood. It's been easier to manage, easier to feed the calves, and in general it's a pleasure to come and feed calves in this unit every day. When we decided to build a new calf building, we did some research online looking at technical documents from AHDB, but also the main thing that really helped us was going to look at other farms that had facilities and standards that we wanted to aspire to.